Welcome to SufiVoice.com, the voice of humanity. In today's session, Hazrat Rumi's early life and how this Divan Shams and Tabrizi came into existence. So Hazrat Mawlana Jalauddin Muhammad Rumi was born on 6th of Rabiul Awal in the Islamic Hijri year 604 in Balkh, present day known as Afghanistan. His father, Hazrat Bahauddin Walad, was a great Muslim scholar and also a Sufi saint who descends from the lineage of Sayyidina Hazrat Abu Bakr Siddiq Rahmatullah Alameen, the first Khalifa of Islam. Maulana Rumi grew up in this learned household in Afghanistan and became a fully accomplished scholar himself. Eventually, between the years 1215 and 1220, Hazrat Bahauddin Walad, with his whole family and a group of disciples, set out westwards. They performed Hajj and then proceeded on their journey. They finally settled in a place called Karaman, Turkey, for 7 years, where Maulana Rumi's mother and brother both passed away. In the year 2000, 1225, Maulana Rumi married Gohar Khatun in Karaman and had two sons, Sultan Walad and Alauddin Chalabi. When his wife away, Maulana Rumi again remarried again and had a son, Amir Alim Chalabi, and a daughter, Malek Khatun. On 1st May 1228, most likely as a result of the insistence of Alauddin Qiyobad, ruler of Anatolia, Hazrat Bahauddin Walad finally settled in Konya in Anatolia within the westernmost territories of Seljuk Sultanate of Rome. On the road to Anatolia, Maulana Rumi encountered one of the most famous mystic Persian poets by the name of Fariuddin Attar in the Nishapur, located in the province of Khorasan. Immediately recognized Rumi's spiritual eminence. He saw the father walking ahead of the son and said, "Here comes a sea followed by a ocean." He then gave Maulana Rumi his Asranama, a book about the entanglement of the soul in the material world. This meeting had a deep impact on the 18-year-old Maulana Rumi and later on became the inspiration for his works. Eventually, Hazrat Bahauddin Walad became the head of the madrasa, a seminary school in Konya, Turkey. When he passed away, Maulana Rumi was only 25 years old and took his father's place at the head of the school. One of the Hazrat Bahauddin Walad's student, Hazrat Sayyid Baharuddin Mukhaki Tabrizi, continued to train Maulana Rumi in the religious and mystical doctrines of Hazrat Rumi's father. For 9 years, Rumi participated in Sufism of Hazrat Baharuddin until the later died in 2040, 1240 or 1241. Hazrat Rumi's public life then began. He became a teacher who preached in the mosques of Konya and taught his adherents in the madrasa. During this period, Maulana Rumi also traveled to Damascus and is said to have spent 4 years there. It was his meeting the the Darwish Hazrat Shams Tabriz on 15th November 1244 that completely changed Rumi's life. Hazrat Shams had traveled throughout the Middle East searching and praying for someone who could endure my company. A voice said to him, "What will you give if in return?" And Hazrat Shams replied, "My head, my head." The voice then said, "The one you seek is Jalaluddin of Konya." One version of the famous meeting that Maulana Rumi had with Hazrat Shams Tabriz was that Maulana Rumi was teaching a group of his students and referring to his handwritten books and notes while Hazrat Shams Tabrizi happened to come along and asked him about those notes. Maulana Rumi replied that the books and notes were beyond the understanding of Hazrat Shams Tabriz. Then Maulana Rumi continued his class. Meanwhile, Hazrat Shams Tabriz threw all the books into a nearby pond of water. The students who noticed this started beating him up. This caught the attention of Maulana Rumi, who complained about losing his knowledge. Hazrat Shams Tabrizi replied that he would return the books. So he recited Bismillah and retrieved the books from the water, which to everyone's surprise were still intact. Saying this, Maulana Rumi was amazed and astonished as how this was possible, to which Hazrat Shams Tabrizi replied that such knowledge was beyond that of an external scholar. Thus began the relationship between Maulana Rumi and Hazrat Shams Tabrizi. At this stage, Maulana Rumi is reported to have mostly retired from his public life and spent a lot of time with Hazrat Shams Tabriz. They could spend days discussing divine issues and Sufi thoughts, to the extent that Maulana Rumi would not teach his classes or visit his family for long periods of time. On the night of 5th December 1248, as Hazrat Rumi and Hazrat Shams were talking, Hazrat Shams Tabriz was called to the back door. He went out, never to be seen again. It is rumored that Hazrat Shams Tabriz was murdered. If so, Hazrat Shams indeed gave his head for his mystical friendship with Maulana Rumi. Maulana Rumi's love for and his bereavement at the death of Hazrat Shams found their expression in an outpouring of music and poetry. Thus, he compiled a collection entitled Divan Shams it Tabriz. He himself went out searching for Hazrat Shams and journeyed again to Damascus. So, from today onwards, we'll have a series of talks on Divan Shams it Tabrizi.